Recently, we saw a rather disappointing wave of some anti-Semitic remarks being associated with celebrities like Kanye West and Kyrie Irving. While both parties did come out and clear the air, we're all in consensus that this is something that should never really happen. So today we'll be discussing Nelson Cruz and other Hispanic MLB players visiting Israel to promote Christian-Jewish relations, as well as Kyrie Irving's apology in a recent interview. First up, Nelson Cruz and other Hispanic MLB players visit Israel to promote Christian-Jewish relations. Just a little while back, the owner of a Tel Aviv restaurant enthralled a group of 14 lunch customers with stories about her life before and after moving to Israel as a child from Ethiopia. A family from New York approached from the other table, and the adult son asked if he could take pictures with some of the large group. The restaurant's owner realized that she had just hosted a group of talented athletes and their entourage after the group had left to walk to the nearby store. She considered running after them to take her own photo. "I wish I knew who they were," she admitted. Nelson Cruz, Cesar Hernandez, and Jeimer, Candelario, all Major League Baseball players in the United States, were also taken aback what they discovered at lunch. For example, they were unaware of the existence of black Jews, including the thousands of Ethiopians who live in Israel. The Philos Project, a non-profit organization based in the United States that encourages Christian relations with Israel and other Middle Eastern countries, brought the players and their significant others to Israel for a week. According to Jesse Rojo, the Philos Project's director of Hispanic affairs, this was the organization's first delegation to Israel that included Hispanic athletes. The group visited Christian sites in Jerusalem and the Galilee and held a baseball clinic in Ra'anana for Jewish and non-Jewish youth. Moving on, what were the motivations behind the trip? According to Rojo, the visit was primarily intended to proactively combat anti-Semitism. He also stated that he made the trip to demonstrate to other baseball players that they can make a difference without waiting for someone to make an anti-Semitic tweet. The trip was planned well in advance of recent anti-Semitism scandals involving American celebrities such as rapper Kanye West and NBA player Kyrie Irving, but the players expressed a desire to learn about Israel and share their experiences when they returned to their home countries of the Dominican Republic and Venezuela, as well as MLB clubhouses. Cruz, from the Dominican Republic, ranks 39th all-time in MLB home runs with 459. He only hit 10 home runs this year and is 42 years old, but he believes the team will sign him to a contract for 2023. Hernandez, a free agent second baseman from Venezuela, is a former Gold Glove winner for being titled the best defender at his position in the American League. Candelario, who was born in New York but raised in the Dominican Republic, is also looking for a new team after 6 seasons as the Detroit Tigers' third baseman. Cruz and Hernandez were teammates on the Washington Nationals last season. Next up, what else did the players say during this trip? Cruz led a prayer of thanksgiving on a minibus before it set out for a day of touring as everyone on board bowed their heads. Throughout, members of the group responded with Amen. Candelario was ecstatic in Jaffa after learning that the Bible's Jonah had departed by ship from the ancient city's port before being swallowed by a massive fish. Candelario led the table in grace at lunch. Each of the 3 visiting players stated in separate interviews that he had never heard anti-Jewish or anti-Israel sentiments expressed by relatives, friends, or acquaintances. Most of their countrymen, they claim, believe Israel is constantly under attack, a belief they say has been eliminated by their experience traveling around the country and feeling safe. All of them attributed their pro-Israel feelings to their strong Christian beliefs, which included regular church attendance. They also mentioned their mothers as devout women who taught them Bible stories as children. Candelario stated that the players love God and the Bible, and that Israel is their ancestral homeland. He quoted God's promise to Abraham saying, "Whoever blesses Israel will be blessed." Up next, what initiatives are the players taking to curb anti-Semitism in the society? Rojo is organizing a charity softball game between Dominican and Jewish American MLB players in the Dominican Republic's coastal town of Susua, which was founded by Nazi refugees who established still operational dairy and sliced meat factories. The event's proceeds will be used to renovate a baseball field and the town's synagogue, as well as to commemorate the Jewish immigrants' contributions to Susua's history, according to Rojo. Cruz is attempting to recruit Dominican players to join him on future Israel trips and to compete in next year's Susua event. Cruz's former teammate on the Washington Nationals, superstar outfielder Juan Soto, considered joining the recent delegation, but he's changed his mind after being traded mid-season to San Diego, Cruz said. Cruz also hopes to convince retired legends Albert Pujols and Manny Ramirez to visit Israel. He also stated that the players will talk about their experience back home and that more players will be motivated to come. "Anyone who has an opinion in such countries helps us," said Jonathan Peled, Deputy Director General for Latin America at the Israeli Foreign Ministry. He also stated that these opinion leaders become ambassadors of goodwill. Whether it's a pastor, an athlete, a performer, or a YouTuber, nothing nothing beats first-hand observation to see Israel in a more balanced, positive, and less distorted light. Israel enjoys good relations throughout Latin America, with the exception of Venezuela, which severed diplomatic relations with the Jewish state in 2009. Pellet is optimistic that the two countries' ties will be restored soon. What's more, what does the future of baseball in Israel look like? Venezuela, the Dominican Republic, and Israel will all be in the same group at the upcoming World Baseball Classic, which will be held in Miami in March. The teams will have large contingents of major leaguers, with Israel's roster primarily made up of American Jews. Baseball is not a popular sport in Israel, but Team Israel's international success has helped to promote the game. They're on a site named after Massachusetts native Ezra Schwartz, who was killed in a terrorist attack in Israel in 2019, is one of only a few baseball fields in the country. Other notable examples can be found at Kibbutz Gezer, Tel Aviv's Yarkon Park, and the Petach Tikva Baptist Village complex. During the group lunch, Hernandez stated that if he could obtain a visa, he would live here in Israel during the off-season. When asked if he really meant it, he repeated the statement, explaining that Israel is Jesus' country. His wife, Gabriela Hernandez, who was sitting beside him at the restaurant, nodded in agreement and acknowledged the significance it holds for them. Now, let's also look at Kyrie Irving's new apology about his anti-Semitic post. As Nets guard Kyrie Irving prepares to return to the court against the Grizzlies on Sunday after serving a team suspension for sharing an anti-Semitic film on social media, the Brooklyn native spoke exclusively with SNY's Ian Begley about his suspension and road to recovery. Begley asked Irving if he was anti-Semitic during the interview. The star strongly disagreed, claiming that he has never held such an opinion. The Brooklyn Nets star also stated that he has no hatred for the Jewish people or anyone who identifies as Jewish. He went on to say how difficult it has been to sit at home with his family, seeing all of this and having questions, and how the part that hasn't been difficult is explaining himself because he knows who he is and who he represents. Lastly, let's look at the star's intentions behind sharing that controversial movie on Twitter. When asked about his motivation for sharing the video, Irving elaborated on his reasoning for tweeting the anti-Semitic film on social media. He began by emphasizing that he meant no harm. He stated that he does not want to be placed in a position where he is opposed to any community. He explained that he wanted to share the link with all those who were on the same journey as him, searching for their ancestors. The star previously stated that when he looked up his name, Kyrie, in Hebrew, it translated to Yahweh. This is what prompted his search for his ancestors. Coming clean about the documentary, Irving admitted that some facts were grossly misrepresented in it. This includes all anti-Semitic remarks, as well as the exaggeration of other major events in Jewish history, such as the Holocaust. Begley also questions Irving on his half-apology, in which he did not explicitly admit to being anti-Semitic. During the press conference earlier this month, he stated that he accepted responsibility for posting the material, but did not expressly apologize. "I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from," he said when asked if he was anti-Semitic. Irving told Begley that he felt he was protecting his character and reacted simply out of defense and hurt that he was being portrayed as an anti-Semite. Irving was required to complete a series of objective corrective measures that addressed the negative consequences of his actions. He last played for the Nets on November 1st and has missed 8 games since then, but he's expected to return to the court soon. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think we'll see Kyrie on the court again anytime soon? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.